I've got some pretty cool people in my life. People that I'm lucky enough to call friends. Today, we're gonna go visit one of them, the Alaska way. Hey, I'm Brett. Flying isn't just about where you're going, it's about where you can go. From rugged backcountry strips to the edges of the map, I'm chasing adventure, one landing at a time. So buckle up and come along. We are cleared to adventure.
Cessna 904 Alpha, radar services are terminated. You are cleared to adventure.
As it turns out, this particular friend might have an even deeper obsession with airplanes than I do. I mean, I spend a lot of time in airplanes, but I can't say that I actually live in one. John, on the other hand, well, he literally does. Alaska is full of interesting people doing fascinating things in aviation, and John is right at the center of that. If you've been in aviation for a while, chances are that you know him already. John runs Fly 8 Mike Alpha, which I genuinely think is the best online ground school out there. And no, he didn't pay me to say that. When Aurora was working on her private pilot certificate, I'd hear him across the room all the time.
Hi, John here from FlyMikeAlpha.com.
John from FlyMikeAlpha.com.
FlyMikeAlpha.com. Today we're here to talk about crosswind taxi and what to do with your flight controls.
At first, I kind of tuned it out. But after a while, I started listening in and I realized just how much better her ground instruction was compared to what I had back when I was learning. John has a gift for making it click. He's passionate, he's engaging, and most importantly, he cares.
So just food for thought, something to remind ourselves of, trying to stay proficient, and it's easy to forget about these things. That's it for this video. If you guys can't fly every day, fly8mikealpha.com, and we'll see y'all in the next one.
But over the last few years, the Alaska aviation grapevine started buzzing with something different. First, I heard that he bought a DC-6. Then a few months later, someone said that he bought a DC-9. And then finally, he acquired a retired FedEx 727. And that's when I finally texted him and said, all right, dude, what are you doing? So here we are today, a couple years later, flying out to Big Lake to find out what is really going on with all these giant aircraft.
While we're on our way out to my buddy John's place today, I want to bring something up. Lately, I seem to have been getting a ton of comments, not about the way I fly, but what I eat. And I think it's time to address that with you guys because I have been getting absolutely slayed in the comments about my choice of snack. And sure, I admit that Cliff Bars are mostly sugar, but, you know, I still enjoy them. But after enough of you have basically told me that, well, I need to stop eating them and I need to eat something better, I have switched to Soli. So this is organic fruit jerky. There's no sugar added and there's no artificial anything. So it's literally nothing but the fruit. And this flavor is mango. My kid loves these. And for the longest time, I kind of fought them. But recently I have started eating them. And with your comments and let's just say the motivation of my wife, I have officially switched from Cliff Bar to Soli. And while I was down in the lower 48 at one of my, I did my hometown 10K, I actually ran into, I think she was the owner of Soli. And anyways, long story short, I have been eating this ever since then, and I promise you, I will not go back to Cliff Bar. So, Soli has replaced it, so you guys can lay off me in the comments. And before you ask, like, hey, Brett, why don't you just carry, like, beef jerky or something with you? So now would be the time to address that. Meat doesn't agree with my body. And so my wife and I don't eat, we eat fish, but no land-based animals or their byproducts. So we don't eat eggs, we don't eat chicken, we don't eat pork, we don't eat beef. And that's, it's not an ethical thing, it's just because our stomachs don't agree with it. And so we basically follow a pretty strict, I would call it pescatarian diet with no egg and like no egg or no dairy. So, hence why fruit jerky. If you haven't tried it, this is not sponsored by Soli. Although I have enough of it now from that run that I basically feel like I'm sponsored. So anyways, yeah, if you haven't checked it out, you can get it at most stores, but Soli, big fan. So you guys can lay off me now in the comments. Valley traffic, Skywind 13 Charlie. We are coming up over the top of Hollywood, and we'll be transitioning out to Fly 8 Mike Alpha.
With 578K punched into the iPad and the wind right down the middle of runway 7 at John's place, I couldn't help but smile while I was on final approach.
Oh man, he's totally changed this. This is way nicer than it was.
From the air, you could see it already. He wasn't just collecting airplanes, he was building something.
Buddy? Hey, not too much. That was so smooth compared to the first time I landed here.
We kicked off the tour with the 727. This is actually the newest of the 3 airplane homes that he's building, and it's going to serve as the main lodge for the Fly 8 Mike Alpha Airport. Inside, it's stunning. Lounge area, sleeping quarters, and the cockpit is still fully intact, so guests can step in and experience what it was like to fly a 727. Everything about the build is thoughtful. From the layout to the tiny details, nothing is random. This wasn't slapped together, it was designed.
And this just sucks. Having to scribe
Oh my God.
one of these boards to match the
Look at like the quality though on this. Next up, we headed into the DC-9.
She's just going through and starting to clean it.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So this one is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath.
3-bed, 2-bath. Out of an airplane. This was a former DHL cargo jet that honestly looks better now than it did when it rolled off the factory line. The design is next level. You almost forget that you're in an airplane until you realize that you very much are in an airplane.
Yeah, wanted to have a nice big range so you can cook.
You have gas in here?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then down here is the kids' room.
What?
Yep. So that is the belly cargo.
Oh, no way.
Twin bed.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yep. Kind of in the middle of turnover right now.
Yeah.
Getting ready for next guest, but
Look at like the detail on this. Like the detail that you
was
did.
The difficult thing is like, how do you trim out this round stuff and fill this gap? And
Okay, so things that I noticed right away. Your guest book is a
Yes.
logbook.
Yep, so that's an aircraft logbook for the guest book. This is the house manual, but it's a POH. So you have
Oh my God.
your general limitations, emergency, normal procedures, performance, weight and balance, all that stuff of how to work. And then of course, like we throw in like all the fun adventures, places to go,
Yeah.
to do. Yeah, nice family room. The wing deck, I really like the Edison lights.
Are you kidding me? And what I like, you're right on the runway.
Oh yeah, right here on the runway.
This is insane. This is absolutely insane.
It's fun.
Probably one of the hardest things was making this curve.
Oh, I can believe that.
Yeah, inscribing that to actually match the curve of the airplane.
Just like the thing though is the quality. What?
Well, and so then you have stuff like this that you can't have this. Everything had to be spray foam so it wouldn't sweat.
Yeah.
Or drip, with
Yeah.
condensation. But this is actually insulated from above because we have this dormer over top.
Right.
This we were able to keep exposed to kind of still show you like, hey, you're inside of a plane, and this is what it looks like.
Well, you don't feel like you're in a plane. You feel like you're in a plane, but you don't feel like you're in a plane.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
You're gonna like this part. So come back here, then look for the service light switch, and you're right.
Oh, what?
There is a massive plexiglass window where the tail cone used to be. And back there, he's actually installed a sauna. Yeah, you heard me, a sauna in a jet. Take that, Gulfstream. John told me that they had to figure all this out on the fly. Literally. There's no manual for building homes inside circular aluminum tubes. Expansion, contraction, pressure bulkheads, routing plumbing through curved walls. They solved it all themselves. And just when I thought it couldn't get any better, we stepped into the DC-6. This was actually his first airplane conversion, and it has a completely different vibe. It's cozy, warm, and full of unique touches.
This is... I can't even tell you which one's my favorite.
This, they're different. It's hard to say because they are truly just different.
The coffee table is made from a 727 tire with a glass top. The headboard in the bedroom, yeah, that's the pressure bulkhead.
Oh my God.
Yep, so we fit a king-size bed back in here. That's the pressure bulkhead.
He's even turning the cockpit into a flight simulator with screens where the windows are so that you can fly the DC-6 on an ILS approach with a beer in hand legally. We spent hours out there, way more time than I had planned. We caught up on life. We talked about panel upgrades. We debated Garmin versus Dynon. Now, we didn't film all that stuff. Some conversations are just better without a camera rolling. But what he's building out there, it's inspiring. He's not just creating cool spaces. He's creating a place for pilots, a place for students, a place for aviation people who love to hang out and tell stories. It's an aviation community in the purest form. Before I left, John talked me into climbing up to the top of his homemade control tower. Now, if you don't remember, I am petrified of heights. And so climbing up something that is halfway finished, 75 feet in the air, well, let's just say it was challenging for me. But while we were there, we took in the view and we made some plans. You'll be seeing a lot more of John on this channel. We're actually working on getting Aurora current in the 170, and we've got a few flights lined up this season to go explore some of the more off-the-radar strips around Alaska. If you're thinking about getting into flying, or if you're looking to take your aviation journey to the next step, go check out fly8mikealpha.com. John is a great instructor. He's one of the best that I know. And if you want to stay in one of these airplane homes, well, they're up on Airbnb right now, so go check them out and book a stay for yourself. After showing Aurora the photos, I can pretty much guarantee that we'll be spending a night or two out here soon. The hardest part will be deciding which one to stay in first. Thanks for coming along on this one with me. I'll see you next week.
We'll be out here making history. Well, they're waiting for the future. We'll be out here making history.
Cessna 904 Alpha, radar services are terminated. You are cleared to adventure.